Halftime for the University of Georgia and Tennessee, 24-10. Georgia leading this game up in Knoxville. And the stadium depicted behind us, that was a shot taken earlier today, actually, and sent to us by one of our good buddies. And depicting Neyland Stadium and the University of Tennessee, Georgia, with a very good first half. Now, obviously, Tennessee scoring on the first play of the game. We're kind of used to Georgia getting behind at the beginning of a game. I think this is the 8th game in the last whatever that Georgia has fallen behind in in a football game. The first play of the game. The first play of the game. So here's what I figured. I figured that Georgia got together and said, "Look, we're probably going to give up a touchdown. Let's go ahead and give it up early and get it out of our system." And there you go. So Tennessee scoring on the first play of the game. But a very good first half for Georgia. Georgia leading 24-10. Georgia gets the ball at the beginning of the second half. So what do you think? Now, my projection of the score was 28-21. And I was hoping that I was on, maybe on the little pessimistic side. And I think maybe I am. Georgia looking very good. So what do you think about this first half as we take just a moment here at halftime to talk about the first half statistics coming in. Boy, I tell you what, man, dude, Carson Beck, 17 of 20, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Carson Beck is making some NFL quality passes in this game against Tennessee. And he's throwing to an NFL tight end, Brock Bowers. I mean, seriously, I don't know how you can not at least somehow, some way mention Carson Beck in the Heisman Trophy discussion. I mean, this first half was fantastic for Carson. 17 of 20, 210 yards. Georgia took the gut punch in the first game or the first play of the game, obviously from Tennessee, but they responded very well, and Georgia leading. And I got to tell you, to be honest with you, Georgia looks like the number one team in the country. Yeah, we've all seen Ohio State play, we've seen Michigan play. I just, Georgia in this hostile environment. Not only are you playing against Tennessee, you're playing against 104,000 fans. Not only that, you have Peyton Manning escorting, Dolly Parton out on the field to sing, that Rocky Top thing. Georgia just looks absolutely stunning in the first half with this first half performance, and so Georgia looking very, very well. So more of the first half stats as we get them in. Carson Beck, 17 of 20. 210 yards. Milton is 9 of 15 for 75 yards for Tennessee. Kendall Milton, 7 carries, 30 yards. Jalen Wright is 4 carries for 80 yards. He got 75 on that first play for a touchdown. Rosemary St. Jack for Georgia, 5 receptions, 82 yards. And wow, just a stunning first half for the University of Georgia. Dylan Bell, what a great first half for Dylan Bell. He threw for a touchdown. Dylan Bell threw for a touchdown, 18 yards, and for a touchdown. Dejon Edwards, 7 rushes, 20 yards. Dylan Bell, 1 rush for 4 yards. Carson Beck ran 3 times for 2 yards. Marcus Rosemy St. Jack had 5 receptions, 82 yards. Brock Bowers, typical Brock Bowers day so far, 5 receptions, 54 yards. Dylan Bell, 3 receptions and that 1 catch he made on the sideline. I mean, seriously, dude, on a third down play, that 1 catch was absolutely gorgeous. Dylan Bell with 3 receptions, 47 yards. Ra Thomas, 1 reception for 18 yards. Ra did get injured. He got nicked up in that first half. Hadn't really heard an update on that, but it doesn't appear to be something serious, just one of those nicks, and hopefully Rah can come back. Dejon Edwards had 2 receptions for 15 yards. Lovett had 1 reception for 9 yards. Georgia just playing very, very well, just very, very well. And looking at the team stats for Georgia, Georgia with 16 first downs, Tennessee with 7. Georgia has 284 total yards, Tennessee with 188. And remember, they got 75 of those on the very first play of the game. Georgia with 228 yards passing, Tennessee with 76 yards. Georgia 56 yards rushing, Tennessee with 112 yards. And remember, 75 on the first play of the game. Turnovers, neither team has a turnover. So what do you think about this first half? Tate Ratledge, he got nicked up pretty good. I don't know if we'll see, from what we understand from our guy on the ground, that you may not see Tate Rutledge back in the game. Just maybe. You may not see that. Hate that Tennessee orange. Yeah, it's not my favorite either, to be honest with you. McConkey, Ladd, he warmed up. He looked pretty good. He had that ankle injury last week. I think with the score the way it is, I don't think you're going to see Ladd on the field. I think they're going to hold Ladd out. It's not really a serious kind of injury or that kind of thing, but it was enough to, give a little bit of concern. So Ladd McConkey, probably you won't see him in this game unless something weird happens, in the second half. Running game, passing game are on fire. Hey, Grady, how you doing, my man? Georgia's just playing a complete game. I mean, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're looking at the number 1 team in the country. I mean, seriously, I don't know in the last 2 years if Georgia in the last 2 years has looked this good. I mean, the defense is playing exceptional. The offense is clicking. And can we finally put to rest the Mike Bobo stuff? The dude is playing or calling a perfect game. Tennessee is holding a lot. I got one of those things where you can stop it and, run the screen back. And Tennessee is holding a lot. They're not calling it. I know, Dolly, I love Dolly. I love Dolly Parton, but boy, she sounded terrible on that Rocky Top. She said she couldn't hear the music, and the stadium was loud. But Dolly Parton is a special person. And so it was good to see her, but that's okay. We don't need to see her anymore. Yeah, Bobo is not a bozo anymore. Absolutely. Mike Bobo is playing a perfect game. And I love what Brad Nessler said, that Kirby Smart said. He said, I have a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder, and I have an offensive coordinator with a chip on his shoulder, Carson Beck and Mike Bobo. And they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. And you can see that. I mean, Carson Beck, oh my goodness. He's throwing it better today than he's ever thrown it. 17 for 20, over 200 yards passing already. How can you not talk about this guy being in the Heisman Trophy discussion? I mean, I would take Carson Beck over any quarterback in the country. And that's just, I mean, seriously, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't that, crazy. What are we going to get out of Carson? Kind of an unknown. And, but he is, I mean, this is a stellar game. This is almost a perfect game, except for that first play. The first play happened, and I that's what I told my son that's what I was dreading. Tennessee gets off to a hot start. The atmosphere is great and all that kind of deal. And then, Georgia's going to be in trouble. But Georgia held their composure. Georgia's a very good football team. Very good football team. And I would say right now, as hot as Alabama is, Georgia is a better football team than Alabama. I'm telling you, for the first time today, I have come to the realization, I mean, the confident realization the University of Georgia actually can win 3 national championships in a row. Up until, maybe today, I was thinking, man, that would be great. It would be fantastic. Um, you know, but it could actually happen. Now, I know we have a long way to go, and I know it's going to be tough. Oh man, it's going to be tough against Alabama. They're playing very well, but they're not playing any better than Georgia. And some of your comments, I love your comments. Great game so far. Beck definitely got into his groove. Man, is he zipping that ball? I mean, seriously, he is. Oh, pinpoint with his passing, repeat loading, one game at a time. I know. I was so, I'm just, oh man, when these games come on, I think, oh no, we got to play Tennessee seriously. We got to play them at their stadium, 104,000 people, and what's Georgia going to do? And Georgia's looking very well. Now, this game is not over. We know that. 24-10, 2-touchdown game. Georgia gets the ball first in the second half. So what do we want to see? We want to see Georgia methodically move down the field. Let's get like a 7-minute drive. Let's score a touchdown, put up 31 on Tennessee, and then let's go from there. Can we do that? That would be that would be for me the a perfect scenario. So soon to be 31-10, Miss Jean says. All right, I'm with you. And yeah, what in the world? Yeah, let's look at some of the other scores. New Mexico State is beating Auburn. I mean, now that's one of those money games. New Mexico State has come to Auburn, for a payday. They expect to get beat, but they come for a payday. And right now they're beating Auburn. Some of the scores going on. Georgia 24-10 over Tennessee. Arizona just clobbering Utah. 35-10. Illinois beating Iowa 10-9. I think if Iowa wins that game, they go to the Big Ten championship game. So Notre Dame's beating Wake Forest 17-7. Clemson and North Carolina tied in the second quarter, almost halftime, 7-7. Ohio State's beating Minnesota. A couple of minutes left to go in the first half, 13-0. Oregon beating Arizona State 35-0. Houston beating Oklahoma State. Wow, that's kind of a surprise. 21-9. Earlier in the day, Michigan took care of Maryland 31-24. Boy, I was hoping Maryland would win that game. But anyway, Alabama beat Chattanooga 66-10. Louisville beat Miami 38-31. Penn State took out Rutgers. Poor old Penn State. They can beat everybody but Ohio State and Michigan. Bless their hearts. 27-6 over Rutgers. Ole Miss beating University of Louisiana at Monroe 35-3. Oklahoma beating BYU 31-24. Tulane beating Florida Atlantic 24-8. So there you go. So that first half is in the books, and so here we go with the second half. Georgia just needs to maintain what they're doing. Georgia looks very good. I wish that first play had never happened. I wish that just, obviously we all wish that first play had never happened. It could be, even a bigger, wider score for Georgia than it is now. If that's the case. Tennessee, last year they came into Athens. They were the newly crowned number one team in the country, and big expectations about taking out Georgia. And Georgia just, a great game last year. Georgia took them out. A lot of talk this year about Georgia surprising Tennessee at home, even after that Missouri fiasco that Tennessee had last week. It's just not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but we still have a half to go. So, but if Georgia just continues to do what they're doing, in the third quarter, this game could get out of hand. Now, I would be satisfied with a 7-minute drive, scoring a touchdown, making it 31-10, and that's pretty well, insurmountable with a quarter and a half to go or something like that. That would be, what I would like to see. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Weird things happen. So I'm enjoying the game. I know you're enjoying the game as well. So we're going to get out of here. The second half will be starting very soon. So let's go get them, dogs. We'll be back with you after the game, and you'll have the opportunity to, put in your 2 cents worth about this game. Still can't believe New Mexico State. Did they win? Did New Mexico State beat Auburn? I don't know. Um, is that game over? Just kind of checking here. I didn't see that score on our run here, but all right. So anyway, there you go. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here, and we will be back at the end of the game. Yes, John, happy Thanksgiving. That's what I'm talking about. I'm getting ready for some turkey myself. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back at the end of the game. You know how we close it all out when we're with you here on our podcast feed. Go Dogs.